Yeah, thrilled. Not only Logan, but Germaine too. Earlier this year, and I feel like we have one of the best tandems in a linebacker in the league, and been able now to keep Logan for an extended amount of time. He's the play caller on defense. I talk to him on the headset. He yells things back to me that I can't hear, but he can hear me yelling. But no, we're super excited to have him back, and it's great for the team, great for the organization.
What do he and Germaine bring to the table, and what do they mean to you guys on defense?
Well, leadership to start. They know the system inside and out. Both Germaine and Logan are forward thinkers when it comes to game day, problem solving, all that stuff. So, you have great football conversations with them. They're literally, the old cliche of coaches on the field. There's two of them there. So, they can really affect the game in so many ways. They're both talented guys, and I'm thrilled that they're back.
How have you seen Logan grow the most in his time here?
I think he carried over his. He's able to take the ball away in college. I think he had 10 career interceptions or something like that coming out of college. So we knew he could do that. He's become a really good tackler. He's become a good blitzer. Moving inside and doing all the things that he's been able to do. He's just become a really good, well-rounded linebacker, three-down linebacker.
Zach said he remembers in the draft room they were kind of sweating. You guys were sweating.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that during that second and third round?
Yeah, I just never thought he'd linger that long. He was on the other team in the Senior Bowl when we were down at the Senior Bowl that year. So, we were able to swap guys, and you're able to have meetings with them and talk to them. But watching him, I made sure I was watching him play and saw the practices, obviously. But we kind of fell in love with him down there, and when he was still there, you got to wait all the way to the third round. That's a long time, at least when you want a guy. And oh, by the way, he was there, so it worked out.
There's not many guys that can linebackers nowadays that are 240 that can run.
Mm-hmm.
You get cool.
Yeah.
And what does that do for you with your packages, with your schemes? How does that? It's going to be a big advantage.
Yeah, the more you can have the same guys out on the field doing different jobs. When you substitute, sometimes the offense can say, all right, well, these guys are in the game, and they only do this. When you can leave same guys in and do multiple things, now it presents bigger problems for the offense. So those guys, are as athletic as they are, really helps us in that way.
Logan said that he takes a lot of pride in being able to help his teammates on the field. He obviously has the green dot, so naturally he's going to direct things on the field. But how good is he at doing that?
No, he's really good, and sometimes I give him too much because I'm telling him, hey, tell this guy this, tell that guy that, and he still has to get the call out and the down and distance and all the things that we put on him. But he manages it well. He doesn't flinch. None of our guys do. But again, in the stress of the game, when you're running around and you're breathing heavy, and then you got to listen to somebody in your head, literally, he handles it all very well.
I think a lot of us assumed at the end of last year it would be hard to keep both linebackers. Did you have that fear, and is this a bit of a pleasant surprise that they're able to do it?
Yeah, I always give credit where credit's due. Certainly, with Duke and the crew upstairs and ownership and the way they've been able to handle all this stuff and with the contracts and yeah, it's great. The more consistent we can be with our players, the better we're going to be.
Some people might suggest linebacker's not supposed to be a premium position. I'm not saying, but does this suggest you don't view it that way, or how do you view that position as a whole?
Well, you're going to have two of them out there, and if they're going to be two good ones, it's better than having two that aren't so good. So, I like having our guys, and they're our guys, and they play well. And yeah, we're gonna use multiple packages and things like that on third down, but you got to get to third down. And in our division, if you don't have big, strong guys, the way teams run the ball in our division, you're not going to be that good. And we're strong up the middle with DJ and BJ and those guys inside. And then you follow it behind it with two big, strong men, and that's Logan and Germaine.
It looks like, based on you know, they were here for the whole rebuild and turnaround, and now they're going to be core pieces, especially, you know, with the future of the defense kind of uncertain with how that money's going to go. What about them maybe enables them to be part of an anchor that kind of helps bridge those two eras, so to speak, that will help them do that pretty well?
Well, I just think, like you mentioned, that they were here at the bottom and have seen the top and everything in between, so they can share that knowledge with the younger players, bringing the younger players on. You know, I still feel like we have a great linebacker room with depth, you know, Akeem and Marcus and those guys and Joe Bocci. And so, you know, not only Germaine and Logan, but the whole group does a great job of helping all of our guys on the defense.
As y'all move forward, is it, and y'all get more younger players in future years, does it help to have guys say, you weren't here, it wasn't always like this, and have an understanding and kind of a perspective of
Yeah.
what it takes to be at that level?
I don't know that they go like that. I just think more of this is how we operate, this is how we go about our daily business. It's not about rehashing some things maybe that have gone on in the past. It's more about this is what we do now and this is how we do it. You know, being a pro and on and on and on, and, you know, that behavior doesn't fly here, and, you know, they can just reinforce what Zach and myself are trying to get done.
As you got Logan in the building and you started to give him more and more things to do, was there anything that surprised you or with his skill set, or was it like, yeah, this is just like we expected?
You know, his athleticism, you know, you can see how he was able to, you know, match up on different backs and even on tight ends at times. But, you know, covering backs is a big part of their job, him and Germaine. We try to, you know, put a DB and passing downs on those tight ends, but sometimes they, you know, they're matched up, and they're just two super smart players with a bunch of athletic ability, and they've turned out to be two gems for us, that's for sure.
You guys didn't practice yesterday. Logan obviously officially signed the deal yesterday. He said he kind of went through his normal routine. Can you just give us an insight on how he carries himself? Because I think most guys might celebrate in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but we're in training camp, and you know, if a guy gets, my history in the league is, if a guy gets a deal done in the off season, it's a little bit different than during the season. It's hard to take a step back. You know, when you talk to our guys about their day off, it's not necessarily a day off. They're still doing, you know, the Pilates, the massages, the cold tub, the hot tub, getting a lift in. So they're not just sitting on the couch. So you know, knowing him, he probably enjoyed some time with his family. And maybe checked his bank account. I don't know.
For some guys across the league with an extension in line, it can be a distraction for them, and we've seen it. It didn't seem like that was the case for Logan. What does that say about him?
Again, it just speaks to you know, he's an adult. You know, he's a guy that's a mature guy. Always felt confident and that something would get done. He wanted to be here. We wanted him here, and so I just think he believed in the process, and it worked out.
He talked about his biggest challenge was the shoulder injury, the dislocation, the rehab, and trying to still play at least you know, sufficient level.
Yeah.
He ended up even doing more than that. To you, what did that mean? What did that say about him?
Well, you kind of knew what he was all about, and his teammates saw what he went through to try to get back and end up doing what he did for the rest of that year. But excuse me, that's what he's made of. So, you know, it just kind of showed everybody that's what he is.
A non-Logan Wilson question. What's Miles Murphy showing you so far in this camp?
We'll find out more, you know, as we go forward. But he's shown that he can rush. He's shown his athleticism, his length. You know, he's using that well. You know, all these young guys you could put in the same bucket, and you know, we'll finally play a game, watch them run and get off blocks and tackle people. Because at the end of the day, that's how you play good defense. And so until we get some of these games under our belt, then I'll really have we as a staff will have a better feel for what these guys are all about.